Hello?
"300 days without the General Direct. Guarantees regarding no first-party Switch games delays. Nintendo apologizes for Joy-Con drifting. Serious Smash Ultimate community allegations." And finally, we go over Nintendo Switch July games lineup and Crysis Remastered surprising Switch delay. Hello everyone, Conrad Vanis here and welcome to CR's Nintendo News, the reinvented format of our old Nintendo Switch news show from 2016 and 2017, refurbished for the new decade with special guests and viewer contributions, so be sure to leave a like. And if you're new or among 80% of our viewers not yet subscribed, then press that subscribe button and notification bell, and again for all notifications. Nintendo's annual shareholder meeting on Monday, June 29th stood in the light of President Shuntaro Furukawa's Q&A session with stockholders, which quickly diverted into questions regarding the next generation of consoles, absence of Nintendo Directs, and fears of first-party game delays due to the worldwide situation. After all, it's been over 300 days without a general Nintendo Direct, and multiple new rumors regarding a new Direct in July, especially with the end of work-from-home orders in Japan, are surfacing. When it comes to the Nintendo Direct, Furukawa had this to say, translation by the Video Game Chronicle. "We feel Nintendo Directs are an incredibly effective way to present information directly to our customers in a very straightforward way. Inversely, times change and so does the most effective way to promote products. So there's a chance that a new, better way to present this information comes about. So we always like to examine all of the possible ways to communicate this information to customers." Together with me is Joseph Ferris. And Joseph, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Thanks, Conrad. This whole Nintendo Direct situation is wild. It's been over 300 days since a last mainline Nintendo Direct. We still have had video presentations since then, but over 300 days without one is pretty crazy. Understandable though, considering, But other than that, I'm not too concerned about the future of Nintendo Directs, and I know Nintendo said don't expect Nintendo Directs to continue forever, because let's be honest, nothing lasts forever. Video game companies change their methods of presentation over and over and over again. I'm not expecting Nintendo Directs for as long as the company lives. I'm expecting them to change their presentation over the course of however long they're going to remain in business, which let's hope is forever, let's be honest. In regards to what Nintendo said about Directs being a thing in the past at some point, I think they're referring to the far, far, far future, not anytime soon. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we'll get a mainline Direct sometime this summer.
Well, for the time being, we might not be getting a Nintendo Direct, but at least we're getting a Devolver Direct on July 11th, so that's something. Maybe we could see a Nintendo Direct, a proper one, later that month. According to a few rumors, that is quite possible. At the same meeting, Nintendo also briefly came with more comments on stockholders' fear of game delays due to the worldwide situation. Director and Senior Managing Executive Officer Shinya Takahashi had this to say: "Nintendo has faced development delays, but it will not affect upcoming releases. In the future, if the pandemic continues, there could be delays to the development and releases." Nintendo is reassuring stockholders, but can we trust Nintendo in this regard? Joseph, what is your take on this?
This is a bit confusing because Nintendo said in their last Nintendo Direct in March, their mini Direct, that a lot of these games have probably been affected by the COVID pandemic. And of course, that remains true across all gaming developers, not just Nintendo. COVID has definitely affected game development. When they say that that hasn't affected it though, it feels like mixed messaging to me. Because I think that's just them trying to not scare their investors, maybe, or maybe they are being honest, but they still haven't told us a lot about their lineup for 2020. It's really confusing. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just going to chalk this down to PR speak because I definitely believe that a lot of Nintendo's lineup for this year has been affected by COVID. If not, Nintendo needs to communicate with us what their plans are for 2020. Because right now, all we know is that we're getting Paper Mario the Origami King and No More Heroes 3, I guess, is still slated for this year. And then after that, it's like, what's happening? We don't even know if new Pokemon Snap is coming out this year. Like, I need my Pokemon Snap. Come on!
Indeed, it feels like a lot of double messaging here. But if the work from home orders have been concluded and Nintendo is back in business again and the break was not more than a month and they were able to work quite efficiently from home, it is quite possible that the reassurances from Shinya Takahashi could be correct. Now onto the issue of Joy-Con drifting, since after years of complaints, Nintendo's president Shuntaro Furukawa commented the issue. Quote, "We apologize for any inconvenience caused to our customers regarding Joy-Cons. We will do our best to ensure that our customers can use our services and products with peace of mind." And that was the only thing he had to provide. The Joy-Con drifting issue has been there for a long time, and though there are no reassurances here that Nintendo is going to deal with the problem or release a new model that is not drifting anymore, it looks like Nintendo is aware of the problem, and when you're aware of the problem, you're usually looking for solutions. So it could be that we could get a new Joy-Con model, maybe not this year, but maybe next year. In next year, we have also been hearing a lot of rumors that we could get a top model Nintendo Switch, or a Nintendo Switch Pro if you prefer. So recently we got a message that Nintendo is much more dedicated to the Nintendo Switch than we thought, and that maybe we won't see that model coming after all, even in the light of the new generation of consoles. So Joseph, once again and last for this video, what is your take?
Will there or will there not be a Switch Pro? That is the question, and as time continues, I'm just assuming we're probably not going to see a Nintendo Switch Pro, like either this year or next year. Now, whether Nintendo's lying about there not being a Switch Pro, like they've done it before in the past with their other consoles, like there's not going to be a new Nintendo DS, like a few weeks later, I think they announced the DS Lite, or was it DSi? I don't remember. But at this point, the Switch is about to be 4 years old next year, and at that point Nintendo's probably just going to come out with a brand new system the year after if they're sticking to their release schedule of consoles, which being 4 to 5 or even 6 years. But yeah, at that point just release a new machine, like a brand new console. Maybe that new console is a brand new version of the Switch that is way more powerful, plays brand new games that can't be played on the older Switch. Maybe that's what's going to happen because the Switch has been such a success, but as it is, a lot of games are struggling to run on the Switch. The hardware is already super outdated, and I just feel like at that point, why release a Switch Pro? Just release a brand new system. Like I said, maybe that brand new system is a Switch Pro. We'll just have to wait and see.
MinMin has entered the Smash Ring, and people have been having fun trying out the character. Her playstyle is that of safety and rage from afar, with a mild combo game and some great edge guarding potential. A perfect fit for newcomers to the franchise. It is of course too early to determine her tier placement as of right now, but more and more points to her being based partially on Captain Falcon, a character we will soon get back to. The opinions are quite divided, with MK Leo, the current best Ultimate player in the world, not being too impressed, while other top players saying she's crazy good, and yet others are somewhere in the middle. Obviously, it remains to be seen, but no doubt Sakurai has created another fighter that seems to fit the Smash format well. Alongside MinMin, the Vault Boy Mii skin was released, which a lot of people are already enjoying. More importantly, Nintendo also released a new overall character balance patch. This 8.00 patch has been particularly notable. Players have been advocating for a while that they would rather see weaker characters get buffed as opposed to good characters being nerfed, and it seems that for the most part, Sakurai listened to their wishes. With affected characters in this patch consisting mostly of bottom, low and mid-tier characters, getting that little extra boost they needed, and in some cases might even elevate them towards high or even top tier ranks. The biggest winners of the 8.00 patch, depending on who you ask, being Captain Falcon, which makes sense after the work he did for MinMin, Mewtwo who got a solid buff, Marth, Falco, Kirby, King Dedede, Incineroar and Bayonetta. There are more buffs to other characters which are considered either minor or in some cases might even secretly be a nerf in the long run. If you want to learn more of the exact technical stuff when it comes to the changes, we recommend watching the beefy Smash Dudes right here on YouTube, who explained each change in detail with side-by-side comparisons. Sadly, we don't have only good news from the Smash Bros. World, since unfortunately we have to end the Smash segment on a sad note. As most of you have caught wind of, the latest scandal within the competitive Smash community has shocked fans around the world, with heartbreaking stories having come to light with allegations that several top players and key figures have taken advantage of their fans to commit disgusting acts. Sadly, multiple of these involve minors. We will not be naming any names both in terms of the accusers nor the accused, since these matters are still ongoing and developing. All we can say is that we hope that the stories coming out will be heard, investigated, and if necessary prosecuted to prevent this from happening in the future and creating a better, safe environment for gamers and the communities of Smash, Pokemon, and other gaming communities affected by similar gaming scandals. As a final piece of advice, I want to bring up a slightly altered quote from Final Fantasy VII Machine Abridged. Never worship your heroes because heroes are people and people can be shit. But it isn't your fault if they turn out to be this way. That's all for Smash News. Now over to Animal Crossing New Horizons, which has launched a big new summer update. This update concentrates mostly on breaking another gaming barrier, namely that of the water and being able to dive underwater. Something that was possible in past Animal Crossing games, but is just being added now into Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is good since a lot of people have been looking for opportunities to return back to the game. The update was launched as planned on July 3rd. Now onto the delay of the opening of Super Nintendo World, which is naturally tied to the worldwide situation and also the impact it's had on the Japanese homeland, which has included the delay of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics from this year to 2021, work from home orders, and lack of tourist traffic from and to Japan. This all makes sense, as Super Nintendo World is almost completed. We have seen walking Yoshis, moving coins, and other nice animatronic technology being tested out, but there's no doubt that the delay of the opening of Super Nintendo World is a wise one. The question is if it will be open later this year if the situation improves, or whether they will actually be waiting a full year, that is to say summer next year, and the Tokyo 2020 in 2021 Olympics. Time will show. It is given that the opening of Super Nintendo World, but also the launch of the LEGO Mario collection in August, was heavily tied to Mario's 35th anniversary, and we're still waiting for the regular Mario game reveal after Paper Mario The Origami King will be out in a few weeks' time. Finally, let's go over Nintendo Switch July games lineup, but first, let's go over Crysis Remastered surprising Switch delay, as a trailer of Crysis Remastered was recently leaked online, and then followed up by the developer stating that the game needs a little bit more development and will be delayed out of July as it was originally scheduled to be. Now then, let's get back to the Switch July games lineup. These include Catherine Full Body on July 7th, Superliminal on July 7th, which also got a new trailer on the Nintendo YouTube channel, Crosscode, which is coming out on July 9th, Bloodstained Cursed of the Moon 2 on July 10th, the long-awaited Deadly Premonition 2 A Blessing in Disguise coming out on July 10th, The Great Perhaps also coming out on July 10th, Story of Seasons Friends of Mineral Town, which is coming out on July 14th, the big game of the month, Paper Mario The Origami King, coming out on July 17th, Bounty Battle, which is coming out on July 23rd, Locomotion on July 30th, and Fairy Tail on July 31st. For more on these games, head over to Nintendo Live's YouTube video on July Switch games. We want to make CR's Nintendo news as viewer involved as possible, and one of these things will be best comment of last week, which we will be including in the video, and also pinning in the previous video, but also Nintendo meme of the week, with shoutouts to the creator and person who sent it over to us. And the Nintendo meme of this week is, very fittingly, Ganondorf did not get a buff, so sadly he can't. Anyway, thank you so much for joining in to CR's Nintendo news for this week. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe if you are new, as around 80% of you watching are not subscribed, and we would greatly appreciate to get to 300,000 as soon as possible. And naturally, do not miss any upcoming episode of CR's Nintendo news. There's that shiny notification bell, and again for all notifications. We are also very welcoming to feedback in the comment section down below. It was supposed to be live action. Unfortunately, my microphone doesn't work that well for that purpose, so I will have to buy a special mic for future episodes. And hopefully, sooner rather than later, we'll be able to report on an upcoming general Nintendo Direct. Anyways, guys, we'll see you in the next one, but please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.